More than 3 years ago, Colorado became the first state to legalize cannabis on a recreational level. Now this was a big step for ending prohibition, but unfortunately, not the rest of the country is on board. One state that opposes this idea is the state of Kansas, which ironically borders the state of Colorado. Now, Kansas Attorney General Derek Schmidt is worried that this recreational cannabis is having a harmful impact on the state of Kansas. So what Schmidt has done is he has already sent out 500 surveys to county and district attorneys, to sheriffs, and actually to heads of police to see how this cannabis from Colorado is actually affecting Kansas. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull up a quote from the news release that kind of discusses what this report is about. It states that anecdotal reports of the types of problems Kansas law enforcement has encountered with marijuana brought from Colorado include people driving under the influence of Colorado marijuana, distribution in Kansas of edible food products laced with marijuana from Colorado, people who bundle marijuana acquired in Colorado into larger amounts and transport it into Kansas for illicit resale and distribution, and increased Kansas juvenile access to marijuana products. While the reports have been more numerous from counties near Colorado, they have come from throughout the state. Alright, so I want to stop right there, and now I just kind of want to talk about why a lot of this is just nonsense. Of course cannabis is coming in from Colorado. In fact, it's coming in from all over the world. It's not just Colorado. Even if Colorado was still a illegal place to have cannabis, it's still going to be imported from everywhere. Nobody can deny the fact that there is a demand for cannabis, even if it's not on a recreational level. Bleeding Kansas, an organization that advocates for the legalization of medical marijuana, even posted a public opinion survey that showed that 68% of people advocate for medical marijuana, and 63% at least support decriminalization. Something people just don't understand that I've been trying to tell people for such a long time is that legalization only works on a nationwide basis. If we continue to make this a bigger issue than it really is, then we're going to continue to see trends like we are seeing with Colorado and Kansas. Going back to that quote I showed you on why Derek Schmidt sent out these surveys, distribution of marijuana in bundles and edibles. Like I said, the reason we are seeing this more and more often is because it is in demand. The state wants it. People are finding a safer alternative to recreational and medical drug use. It's so strange to me that people have such a huge deal with marijuana being a recreational drug when people completely disregard the fact that alcohol is a recreational drug that is legal in the United States that kills thousands every year. Bleeding Kansas pointed out that the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention recorded more than 73,000 deaths attributed to illicit drug use, prescription drug use, and alcohol in just 2014. However, there is not a single recorded overdose from marijuana in the history of ever. Now, there are a couple of other major concerns that this survey is trying to address, and I kind of understand why they are trying to address this. It's the fact that juveniles may be getting their hands on it, and the fact that there's impaired driving. These are two important concerns that I can completely understand with wanting to research and find out more about it. Unfortunately, the reality is if kids really want to smoke marijuana, they're going to be able to get their hands on it. Even before cannabis became legal, and we see this a lot with kids trying to get their hands on alcohol too, it's just not that hard to come by. The great thing about legalization though is that it forces kids to go through a reputable business with age restrictions. So instead of buying from somebody off the street that doesn't care how old you are, you have to find somebody that's willing to actually buy pot for a minor. And when you buy through a business, that tax revenue actually goes to the state, which can help fund programs that teach kids that it's probably best to wait until they're a responsible age to start smoking. And now the same thing goes for people that are driving under the influence. Nobody wants to hear about somebody driving under the influence, but the problem is there nonetheless. But if cannabis is in a regulated setting, that tax money can go help fund programs that promote better driving habits rather than somebody that's doing it just solely for profit. In my opinion, there is absolutely no reason legalization wouldn't be a better option than prohibition at all. We can expect to see the results of this survey later in the spring. However, I'm pretty sure that the only thing this survey is going to show is that the demand for cannabis is here, and that the only solution to the problem is regulation through legalization. Thank you.